Hi, I'm Austin, and today what I want to cover are hyperlinks. Hyperlinks are very easy to add. They pretty much describe in like an email, a document, a web page, where the link is going. So basically, instead of saying www dot and it's a long web address, this actually just provides a little descriptor of where the link goes. And this can help all sorts of people, but especially screen reader users who are relying on the screen reader to read out what's in the document. And if you don't have described links, or you have a long string of www dot and it's just a long string address, it's hard to know where that link goes. So this can be really beneficial. And I'm going to be going over how to make hyperlinks in Microsoft Word and Google Docs. In addition, what I'm going to be covering is also using multiple methods for conveying information. It's important to keep this in mind because, for example, if you only use color to convey something and somebody's colorblind, they're not going to know what you're trying to convey in the document or web page. So trying to use multiple methods to convey information can be really helpful. I'm going to show you a couple of examples there as well. So let's go check it out. So now I am going to go over creating hyperlinks in Google Docs and Microsoft Word. I'm also going to go over the importance of providing multiple methods of representation for items. And I'll conclude by giving a demo of screen reading software on American Airlines website and how it can identify links. So to get started here, let's look at this slide where I have a click here, and by right click or control click on this click here text box, I can go to link. And when I click on link, I could put in whatever link I want to put in. So I'll put www.aa.com, which is the American Airlines website, and it will take me there. And in fact, we can see a little preview of American Airlines when I'm there, so it shows people where the link goes. Now understand that this is not a good description for a hyperlink. The reason for this is click here doesn't tell you anything. In addition to that, if you were putting in a link, sometimes, as the second slide kind of shows, it can be helpful to identify a link by using a different color for the text, as well as putting a box around it or having a clear focus if you're using the tab key on like a website or something, or a PDF, to see where the link is. That way you know this is the link that you should be selecting. In addition to that, if you were to go further with it, you could add in an icon letting the user to know to click as well. This isn't really necessary per se, but sometimes a visual representation for tasks, whether it be adding in a birth date or something like that on a form, it can be helpful to have what they call a tooltip, or some type of clue of what you should be doing or how it should be represented. And that's what this is kind of symbolizing here. So rather than a visual representation, if you were creating a form, you may have a tooltip. I found this link relating to tooltips that kind of show you what they can look like. So this one for first name, include your given name. Here's one for a button, it's a little bit longer. But basically when you move the mouse next to it, there's some explanation of what it should be. This is, another idea of just providing some type of text or visual to help someone know how to interact with the content. In addition, now on this slide, you can see I've changed click here to Puppy Essentials, which I explained is much more helpful for screen reader users and your users in general, because that way they'll know what they are clicking on. So instead of click here, now they know this is Puppy Essentials, and it's going to take them to some website relating to that. So with this type of link here, we have this really long link, and if you're writing a paper or some type of handout, this is not helpful, not just because it's too long to be useful for screen reader users, but also just users in general. If you're looking at this, it'd be way easier just to know this is Puppy Essentials. So if I were to go next line and just write Puppy Essentials and highlight this, then I can go over here and do a control click or right click, click on the link, paste this, apply, And now we have the link, and it's underlined, which is different than the other text there, so it's another subtle hint that this is different as a link. And those are some examples. Now, in addition, and this is how it would look actually, another example is here in this slide, showing you again how it stands out and is very visually, distinct than the rest of the text. Now, another way of thinking about multiple representation and some issues that can be run into is with color. So consider this graph. This graph has two shades that are very close to each other, and red and green, which is common for color blindness, can be difficult to discern. And if you notice these teams, you have this nice little legend here, but the issue with the legend is it's not really that useful because it's not going to tell you which team won. If they actually wrote team 1 on the pie, it would be a lot easier to know. So this is not that useful for what we're trying to do. Conversely, if you look at this second graph, you can see each color is very distinct. You can see that the color pattern here, there's yellow and black, very easy to tell. Even if you are fully colorblind, it's easy to discern yellow from black. And in addition, you also don't need to really worry about that because each team is labeled next to it. So you have the line pointing team 1, team 2, so you know where it's going, which can be really helpful as well. Now, keeping this in mind, that's going over how you should think about graphs and other visuals and making sure that the information is easily conveyed. Now I'm going to go over how to do hyperlinks in Microsoft Word. Making a hyperlink in Microsoft Word is actually very easy and very similar to what we just did, so I will show you another example. If I wanted to do like American Airlines, I would write it out, I'd highlight it, I would then do the control click or right click, choose hyperlink. I can then choose this as a web page and I'll paste it in, and I will click OK, and there it is. Now if you did want to do an email address, if I did info@austinstam.com, I could actually go over and control click or right click on this, go to the hyperlink option again and click edit hyperlink, and then for this I could have it be known as an email address, and you can see the mail to with a colon. That's another way of conveying that it is a mailing address. If you put mail to in front of the link, that lets it be known. But in this case, it does know, and you can see as well with the tooltip that comes up, it's saying mail to info@austinstam.com, so it knows what it is. And for this one, it's showing you the link. Oh, I think I did the Puppy Essentials instead of American Airlines, but it shows you the link that it goes to. So I'm going to stop with the Word and now show you how screen readers interact with links. So the first thing I want to point out is you can actually see the focused indicator and how it works on a website by using the tab key. So if I start tabbing, it will start saying what each icon is that I'm tabbing on. The tabbing should move in a logical order that kind of matches the format of the website, so we'll kind of notice that. And also notice the icon itself. For American Airlines, it's going to be a black icon on a white background, very clear and easy to discern.
Link, image, previous slide button, next slide button, play slideshow button, you are currently on the button, to click this button, book, selected, search site, selected, radio button, link, hotel, opens another site in a new window that may not meet accessibility guidelines, quote, link, car, opens in a new window, search flights round trip, selected, redeem miles, unchecked, checkbox, OEK, content selected from edit.
So you can tell,
to enter text in this field, type.
You can tell that this is the focus indicator right now is on the from box because of that black rectangle surrounding it, which makes it clear for people who are using other technology, maybe keyboards or have low vision, and maybe this website is zoomed in, that they're able to really clearly see where it is. Or if you're just using the website, you want to make sure if you are using keyboard commands, because they can be faster sometimes, where you are using that tab key, you want to make sure that the focus indicator is working properly. Now we haven't gotten into described links though. So in order to see described links and kind of go over them directly, I'm going to show you a couple options actually. So first I'm going to tab a little bit.
Link, link, 1, no, open calendar, search, link, added optional fees. You are currently on a link. To click this link, press Control Option Space.
So notice I can open this link if I want to by pressing Control Option Space, which I can do, and we'll see what happens. It
Option
just
search
opens the
customer
link.
service minus
If I want to go back, I can. But now what I actually want to do is I want to show you how you can see all the links. With VoiceOver, it is Control Option U. There are different keyboard commands depending on what screen reader you're using. So I'm going to click that, and you can see I'm in the link section for this. I'll tab through in 1 second.
Window spots menu, articles menu, landmarks menu, no items in, form controls menu, headings menu, links menu.
So I am in the links menu here by pressing Control Alt or Option U, and what happens is that you can actually choose whatever link you want, and you'll be able to go there. So I'm going to read some of these out.
Link, information about U.S. testing, mask requirements, travel restrictions and changing your trip.
Now imagine if that said click here. I would have no idea what that means. So that's why described links are very important. And as we scroll down here, we can see that there's every link, I believe, will be described because U.S. airlines have to meet a very high standard for their web accessibility. And you can see that they are all described, which is great. As you see here, they are all described, which is great. Again, with the description, you want to make sure that you are conveying the information as short as possible and being, concise. But this is how it should be for your website or your document, having described links and really being clear about where the link is taking the person and why it's important. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested, please join my Discord. The link is in the description, and you can share with me your experiences using this accessibility info, and maybe you can also take my survey, which is also linked in the description too. I hope to see you in the next episode.